Equity markets are looking shaky. Returns from fixed deposits are not even equal to the real inflation in the economy post-tax. So no surprises, more and more money is flowing into asset classes where people see some kind of stability or superior returns, call it either property and gold. Today in our expert segment, we get your view on how and when should you buy your second property, because remember, buying just one for at least middle India is an enormous financial outflow. Does it make sense then for you to stretch your budgets and buy yet another one? My guest today, India's best known face in home financing, Harsh Rungta, Chief Executive Officer of Apna Paisa. Harsh, welcome to the show. And now that I have described you as the best expert, I think you better be on my side. Okay. Then bust the notion that nobody should be buying property.
I'm always on your side, Manisha.
All right. Let me start with some interesting data which came out in Business Line today. That's the source. Inflation mapped by Consumer Price Index is up 55% in 5 years. BSE 500 index is up only 11%. The Housing Price Index, which is a map of some key cities across the country, shows a jump of 113%. You look at gold, clearly it has been a big outperformer, and I'm hoping that graphics plate is going to change so we can show you how real estate and gold are doing, so you can actually get that sense on why that big money is moving there. Okay, that's come up 113% Housing Price Index, and gold 229%. Harsh, I'm going to come to you. I know in the Personal Finance Show we've discussed over and over again on how real estate, beyond a certain point of time, a very heavy portfolio of that is lumpy, difficult to get rid of, all of that. But looking at today's scenario, does it really not make sense to buy a second property over going on putting money in the equity markets?
So one, I think, Manisha, clearly, basically because real estate is lumpy, obviously it cannot, a second house cannot be in everybody's portfolio. I mean, it requires a fairly large portfolio for you to be able to take that kind of an exposure. And typically, if your portfolio is not large enough, that second investment will crowd out your portfolio. So I mean, and any asset class that just goes into one, any portfolio that just has one asset class is very dangerous to be. And just to put these figures that you showed up on the screen in perspective, if you just elongate it to 10 years, I think the story will be completely different. You've taken 1 year and 5 years. Now these have been dream runs both for real estate and gold and gold. Moment you elongate it, I mean do 10 years, and I think the story would look completely different.
The story is evening out. I don't have the figures, but yes, equity definitely does better. But even in a 10-year period, we all know gold has done way better, and so has actually property. The index has been slightly better than equity markets. But look at the scenario today and going forward, Harsh. I mean, you have a density of 1.2 billion people. Land is a scarce resource. It's a finite resource. If you can afford it, I mean, there is a time when there are portfolios which can afford it. Do you think that it does make sense to probably leverage? I mean, look at it. You're getting a bank loan at 10.75, 11%. Now you have a consumer price inflation, which is 10.66% in May 2012. Essentially, you're borrowing from the bank at less than 0.5%, and add to that the tax benefits.
So the key there, I think, is what are you going to do with that? So I think if you take the assumption that the portfolio is large enough to take a real estate investment, then I think that's very, very fair. But this whole argument about tax incentives on the loan, I mean, what do tax incentives on the loan do? I mean, they essentially reduce the cost of the loan. I mean, it's not something that takes away the cost and that becomes an income. It just reduces your cost of the loan. You still have a cost. So if you do the math, and assuming you get the full interest as a deduction, you're talking of 7.5% post-tax, which can increase, likely to decrease in the next few years, but which can increase as well. The key is, if you're going to keep that house locked up, or if you're going to use it for your own weekend holidays, one, the deduction that you get is going to be much lower if you already have a home, if you already have a loan on your existing home that you stay in. Two, under the DTC, and that will come someday, it may not come next year now that Pranabda has moved and we don't really know when the direct tax code will come. But on the once the direct tax code comes, once you keep that house locked up, there is no deduction available if you take a loan against that kind of a house. So, I mean, I think the borrowing decision is a completely separate decision that may make sense, may not make sense. The investing decision is a different decision. Second home gives the connotation of something that you buy on the outskirts of the suburbs, go stay on the weekends. I would not call that as an investment. At best, it is an indulgence that may not be very expensive. Liquidity on those kind of properties is extremely poor. I mean, try selling it. It is extremely poor. Buying another residential house within the area of the city and giving it out on rent, now that is an investment asset, and that really is something that you should consider if your portfolio is large enough to be able to take a real estate asset.
Okay. So Harsh, then this is my final question. If you, let's say, have a home that you're living in, a property that you've already bought, in a portfolio, you want to buy another property, you have equity, you have a bit of gold. I think gold, everyone knows, all experts say 10% of the portfolio is good enough, but the rest of the monies, you think 50% equity and 50% property is the way to go forward? Barring the house that you live in.
It needs to be large.
Because we don't consider that as an investment.
It needs to be large. It needs to be large, and I think that house should be given out on rent. If that is the kind of house that you are wanting to buy, then I think that may be okay, provided your portfolio is large enough. Personally, I would not put 50% of my portfolio in property, but I think that is subject to everybody's taste. Portfolio is large enough. If it is an easily marketable asset, that's something that you could definitely look at.
All right. Harsh Rungta, thanks very much. Always a pleasure to have you, but you've made it very clear that a real estate asset which is dead, locked up, isn't really an investment. That's just a luxury for some rich people. Those are second homes. So go the way of investment if that's... Actually, one final question that Harsh, I wanted to know. We did discuss having rental income as one of the most inflation-proof retirement plans. So how close to retirement should you really go for that rental income home that you're looking at? Or buying an investment
you can actually, I mean, if your portfolio allows it, you can do it at the point of time that you retire. I mean, it depends on how big that portfolio is, and typically at the time of retirement you do tend to get a big lump sum. So I mean, it may not be a bad idea to do it at that point of time, because at that point of time your portfolio is large enough. Of course, borrowing at that point of time may make very little sense.
Absolutely. So probably 10 years before retirement would be a great time to get into it. Thanks, Harsh, for joining us today.
Thank you.
All right. That's whether you should be buying second property. Is that a better investment than going in for a shaky equity investment at that stage? Not really. You have to take long-term returns, because that's what you're saving for, to build the largest corpus over the next 15 to 20 years, not 3 to 5 years. We're going to come back and we're going to take you to the city of Bangalore as well. But meanwhile, call us and write into us at property@ndtv.com.